everybody. I just want to see if everybody can hear me okay. So if you could, let me know if you can hear me okay. We are going to get this going. If you can all see, hi, my dog says hi. So say hi, Templeton. You say hi. So hello, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, you guys can hear me okay. Sweet. Okay, so if you've never been on a live chat with me, this is going to be pretty easygoing. It's extremely interactive. So all you have to do is just simply put ask questions. Now, I won't be doing any individual readings on this because the main reason why is because of energy. So it's just easier for me to answer questions because there's not a lot of times where somebody can actually talk to a psychic medium and ask some spiritual questions or metaphysical questions, things like that. So that's why I like to do these free Q&As for everybody that always wants to get a chance, but they don't always get the chance to talk to me personally. And so that's why I do these things. So can I put you down now? Maybe. So let me try to put him down. I don't know. He's kind of mom's dog. So, all righty. And so, like I said, if you guys have questions, go ahead and start asking. You've got me until 8 o'clock. And so what's really cool about this is I really enjoy doing things on YouTube because it's a lot easier for people to rewatch it. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, please make sure that you do because I'm going to start putting out a lot more videos here. So I've got kind of a marketing team back behind me now. So we're just going to start really shooting a bunch of videos. So that's why I want you to subscribe to my YouTube page. And then also, if you don't know this already, I still do a lot of workshops to teach people other things as well. So if you've never attended one of my workshops, I do them also as live webinars, which is very similar to this. So if you've never done any of my workshops, I'd encourage you to check out my workshops as well. So, okay, on with the show, right? So, okay, somebody asked, when a baby passes in utero, is it a forever baby? Not necessarily. Sometimes I've known that as a medium, sometimes I'll talk to a baby that maybe was like, had died at 12, 14 weeks or whatever, but then they decide to come back around again. So then they're born as that rainbow baby, or they're born a little bit later down the road. So not necessarily. So it depends on the circumstance, to be honest with you. It really, really does. So, alrighty. What's the difference between an empathy and a sensitive? Not much. Really not much. Because they're both with clairsentience, which is the ability to feel. So that's why an empath is always, I feel this, I feel that. And a sensitive is very similar to that. There really isn't much difference. I think it's more verbiage than anything else. I really do. So there is a difference between, you know, an empath, a psychic, and a medium, and a healer. They're all different terminology, but as far as sensitive, I think it's just kind of a general term for somebody like me, an empath, anybody who might have psychic abilities that actually pays attention to them. So. Somebody is asking if they're coming in for a reading, anything I should do to prepare. So yes, actually, there's a couple things. One, be open-minded. So a lot of people are expecting this miraculous thing, and understand that I don't do names. I'm not very good with names. I'm pretty good with dates as far as when things are coming. But as far as names, I'm just not a really good name person, but I can describe the person in detail. So ask your person to come up. Also, ask your spirit guides to show up too. So ask and ye shall receive. So you ask the question, they're going to help me out. But 9 times out of 10, not so much. Usually I'm going to be able to answer all the questions that you want before you even get there. That's why I only do half-hour readings, because it doesn't take that long for me to start smoking through some of the things that you want to learn about or know about. So, how long do you recommend waiting after a passing before booking a reading? Good question, Jacob. On average, I tell people to wait about 3 months, and there's 2 main reasons why. One, if the person happened to commit suicide, sometimes it takes them that long to get out of the hospital on the other side. There is a hospital when you cross over for people that may have been troubled souls here, okay? So sometimes they have to go to the hospital, get rehabbed. So there's that. And then the other part is if somebody crossed over very quickly or very fast or tragically, a lot of times that first 3 months, you're in shock. And so I can maybe connect with that person, but you're in such shock that you're not going to hear what I have to say or really understand or comprehend it because you're just not there yet or ready to hear. So 9 times out of 10, I tell people to wait on average about 3 months. So good question. Can I speak with other people's spirit guides? Absolutely. If I can do it, anybody can. The biggest thing is that you have to differentiate, is it your ego or is it spirit talking to you? And you also have to have their permission. So you can't invade somebody else's personal space. I tried it, but their spirit guide's like, no. So they'll just pretty much deny you right off the bat. So yes, absolutely you can, as long as you have permission from that other person. So, and I've learned that very early on in the game as a medium. I don't go up to people and say, oh, your dead mom or dad or grandpa wants to talk to you. I've learned from a very early on state of me doing this, I won't do that. So, and the reason why is because it's none of my business. It's really not. And if it just never seems to be well recepted, at least here in Nebraska where I'm at. So you would think more people would be open-minded about it. Nope, they're not. So that's why anymore I just won't go up to people and do that. That's why I have my own office for people come to me. And if spirit does happen to catch me like at the grocery store or whatever, and they want me to relay a message, I'll tell them, listen, I can't do that. But if you have your loved one come talk to me and make an appointment, I'll be more than happy to relay messages. 9 times out of 10, they actually show up for reading. So, and so it depends. There's a right way morally and ethically to do that. And I just feel that I'm not one to invade personal space or other personal stuff with people because I've got my own shit when I go shopping. I don't need to know everybody else's crap. So, can one feel seismic activity and react adversely? Absolutely. I personally asked for that ability of mine to be shut off. I don't want to know when stuff's coming because the problem with me is I don't know where, I don't know when, and I don't know who to tell to prepare. So if I know, like for instance, the tsunami that hit Japan, I was sick for 3 days before that happened, and I couldn't understand why, and I kept seeing a bunch of what looked like to me dead people getting floated out to sea, but I didn't know when, where, or how that was going to happen. So that's why I've asked Spirit just to kind of take that away from me because it's just too raw. It's just too raw. I don't like to do that. So, I've just started doing chakra healings with crystals. I feel very, very hot sensation while doing it. I sweat a lot during the healing session. Is that normal? Yes, Sammy Joe, it is. It's actually called chelating. So that means to tell me that make sure that you're balanced and centered going into before you heal somebody. So what's happening is that there's so much energy transfer that your body is the conduit for that energy flow. And that means to tell me that you might have some blockages within yourself because that has to get healed first before you can heal somebody else. So just make sure that you're balanced and centered and that you've meditated and that you're ready to go before that. Also, if they vibrate higher than you do at the time, then they'll also cause you to chelate. So I make a lot of people sweat when they try to work on me with Reiki or healing energy work. And it's just because I vibe so high. I have the tendency to have other people vibe high like that too. So that's why I'm like, just make sure that you're prepared and ready to go. In your opinion, can one be over vibrated if you use tuning forks? No, not at all. So, because it's only going to vibrate to the resonance or the frequency of whatever chakra that you're trying to fix. So if you feel it and you actually can feel that physical response, that means to tell me that it's working. So that doesn't mean that you're doing it too much. It just means that that chakra is opening up accordingly. So that's a good thing. So does the sweating mean that I'm unbalanced? Yes, in a way it does. It just means that you need to start vibrating higher. So that just means to tell me that you're probably not prepared or preparing yourself well enough before you do the healing. So that's why I always tell, I don't teach Reiki so much anymore, but the biggest thing that I always tell people is just make sure that you're prepared, meaning that you need to meditate, you need to eat good food, you need to be ready to go for that healing session. So that way you're not getting the backlash of that, which is that chelating effect or that sweating. So Somebody was asking what is aura photography. So I actually own an aura photography machine and they're freaking great. So what it is it actually shows your aura or your auric field, and it also shows your chakras and if they're imbalanced or balanced or what you may or may not need to work on. So I always tell people it's a really good idea to get that done every once in a while just to kind of see where you're at and see what chakra you may need to align. Now remember, the chakra system in the body is always aligned to an emotion that you're not letting go of or an emotion that you may need to fix. So that's why I always tell people it's not a bad idea to go into a Reiki master or an energy worker, or get your chakras looked at as far as aura photography is concerned, because you can only fix yourself. So, and I always have to remind people, healers need healed too. So yes, I might do a lot of energy work. Yes, I might work on a lot of people, but about 4 times a year, I also need to get some energy work done myself, because sometimes I can't always fix a problem. And sometimes when you do that energy work, the problem kind of presents itself for you to go, oh, there's the lesson. There it is. Okay, got it. Fix the lesson, then you're on again. So that usually helps a lot. Okay, I've been seeing 11, 11, 11 a lot. Yay, Shelby, that means to tell me that you are officially enlightened or you are officially going through a spiritual awakening. That means to tell me that at this point in time, you're just as intuitive as I am, and that you need to start working more on your spiritual self, not your human self. So big difference in that. So, but just welcome to the light side. That's usually what it signifies. And to monitor your thoughts a little bit better, because your thoughts at this point now will control your reality. So monitor your thoughts. That's when you see that 1111. Okay. Who can help me with adrenal fatigue? Oh, Carla. Okay. So adrenal fatigue means that you are stressed out in your head a lot. And so you need to figure out what is stressing you out and fix the problem. Okay. So number 2, quit taking on everybody else's shit. So usually my empaths are like, oh, I need to caregive for this person and that person, and they caregive for everybody else and put themselves dead last. You can't. You cannot be happy self-sacrificing for everybody else. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You must take care of you first so you have enough energy to take care of everybody else. So the biggest thing that I'm going to tell you is just make sure that you are balancing yourself and working on you. So not easy to do, especially if you're an empath, okay? Okay. What does waking up at 3 or 4? That is completely normal. So when you, between the hours of 2 and 4, you are the most intuitive. So that's actually the best time to meditate. So because between 2 and 4, you are not thinking of anything. You're actually meditating. So what's happening is the right side of your brain is working, and all of a sudden you're like, did I just see that? Did I just feel that? Ooh, I think I want to talk to my spirit guides. That's the best time. So, but we have this weird fear-based thing that talking in the middle of the night or praying in the middle of the night or meditating in the middle of the night is a bad idea. Nope. Nope. I'm going to tell you, between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., best time ever. That's actually the most creative time too. So if you get up, you got an idea in your head, write it down. How do you think Albert Einstein came up with all these theories and all these things? He asked God before he went to bed and said, okay, got a question, need some help. Woke up at 3 a.m., had an answer. That's how you do it. All right. So I love doing that. If I have a problem, I'm like, okay, guys, got a problem, need some help, don't know what's going on. 3 a.m., I'll get an answer. And if I don't, then the next day I'm going to get an answer somehow, some way. All right. Best way to work past your personal fears to help open your abilities. Number 1, meditate, 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 meditate. Number 2, fear means to tell me, when it comes to intuitive stuff, that you have been told a crock of shit and you bought it hook, line, and sinker. So fear means that you're not educated in it or you don't understand it, so you fear it. So educate yourself. Figure out the real meaning of what's scaring you. All righty? All these questions. I keep hearing a high pitch frequency. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so frequencies in the ears or itching really bad. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be on your right side. Left side, not so much. It's almost always going to happen in your right side. So the low-pitched wah that you hear on your right side, those are most likely your spirit guides. The high-pitched, the really high stuff, those are going to be more or less your angels. So you can tell who's around you by the different tone or pitch in your ear, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have something to say. It's just letting you know that they're around, that you have support, and they're here for you. So a lot of times when your ears are ringing like that, you're thinking about something that you don't need to be worrying about. So that's just their way of letting you know that they're alive and that they're real and they've got your back. So, how can I ask my young toddler, spirit guides, and angels to protect her by surrounding her with a bubble? As she's grown older, notice she's much more sensitive to energies. You know what, Shannon? They're already protecting her. You don't need, you can ask for additional prayers, absolutely, but understand that her guides and her angels are already on it, and that this is her natural ability. So that means to tell me that she is here to teach you about spirituality, and you are here to teach her about reality, and that not everybody's going to be her friend, and that life here is not going to be easy or fair. So it's your job as a mother to teach her those rights and wrongs and things like that. It's her job to teach you spirituality. Okay. Awakenings can be lonely. How can I remain confident and resilient while going through a spiritual awakening? You know what? That's a really good one. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing that means to tell me is that loneliness loneliness and rejection are two really scary things. They really are for everybody. And so just understand where those are coming from. Is it a loneliness factor? Is it a codependency factor? Is it, scared of what other people think factor? So there's a fear in there that keeps hitting you in the face and you're not quite seeing it yet. So understand where that fear is coming from, because ultimately you are your own best friend. And if you feel like you need people around you to help you with that, that's not what an awakening is about. But you still got those human abilities that we do want to talk to people. I get it. So, but just understand, most likely there's a fear-based response in that somewhere. My dog. Okay. So, we have been trying to conceive for 17 months. Last week, every day, 11:11, at least once a day. It is a good sign, Kristen. I would tell you, my guess that you're having the infertility issues has more or less to do with a dad abandonment issue, or your dad was a workaholic, and most likely you married somebody who's also a workaholic. So that means to tell me that basically you need some more attention, you need more date night. So, but yes, that is a good sign. That means to tell me that you are going through a spiritual awakening. That means also to tell me that you're balancing that mind, body, soul connection, so your body is allowed to heal so you can conceive. So that's a good idea for me. Okay. My pendulum doesn't give me the right answers. Okay, Ebony, that's a really good one. So here's the deal with the pendulum. Can it give you a false read? Yes, it can. So the biggest thing is that it has to, these questions have to be valid. And they can only be about yourself. So if you're asking a question on behalf of a friend, if you're asking a question of like, oh my God, does he love me? It's going to give you a false read every time. So the biggest thing is that if you're asking a pendulum, make sure that you're asking it constructively and the right way. And what I mean by that is that our spirit guides are a lot like autistic children. They don't always understand intent, and they don't always understand like our nuances. Like you can't sit there and say, oh, well, nothing gets over your head. And they're like, nothing does get over my head unless it's a bird. Like, so spirit guides are very much that same way. So if you have a question, ask it directly, ask it clearly, ask it concisely. Don't screw around with it, because they're going to be like, they're not going to help you. Number two, make sure that you're only asking to talk to your spirit guides or your angels. So, because if you just say, okay, I want to ask the question, and you don't specify who you want to talk to, then it's fair game. Anybody's going to come in and talk to you. So that's when, like, make sure that you're setting the right parameters and make sure that you're asking the right questions. All right, cool. How do I keep my 30-year-old from talking to spirits without scaring her? That's a good one. So what I would tell you is tell your 3-year-old that if she doesn't like whoever's in her room, tell them to get the hell out. So because we are humans, but we're also spirit in human form. They're spirit without human form. Our energy will always trump their energy. So spirit doesn't ever control you. You control spirit. Same with kids. So tell your daughter, tell this person to get the hell out, and tell her then, ask for angels to come by to protect you. She will know it damn near instantly, because children know what angels do and what they are. Okay, so just tell her to come on back and ask for angels to come on back and protect her or be around her. It'll happen instantly. And then you can tell her, you'll know that they'll be around because your ears will ring at a high pitch. And kids are always like, oh yeah, they do. So kids just know. Okay. Is a dove a spirit animal? Or is it a visitor sign from a loved one? Usually doves are rarely a spirit animal. 9 times out of 10, Amy, those are going to be from the other side. That's going to be a sign. So usually doves are mother or on the mother side. So yeah. What do you use crystal grids for? Ooh, good question. So crystal grids are used for whatever you set the intent for. So if you want to use a crystal grid for abundance of money, then you're going to get some crystals on that grid, such as jade, citrine, green avertine, things like that, that are going to help you to manifest money. So so you could do it for your love life. You can do it for your home life. You can do it for work. You can do it for just about anything. So, and if you go to my store, Awakenings, so awakeningsstore.com, we have a ton of crystal grid kits that are already they come in a kit. So all you have to do is put them together and literally say a quick prayer over the crystals. Good to go. So they're simple and easy little tools to use. I love them. They really do work. It's kind of like praying with a little bit of gasoline. So it's like praying with a little bit of something extra. And so usually you want to keep those on the crystal grid for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, something like that. So, but I like to use crystal grids. I really do. Do you believe that energy tools need to be cleansed often to work properly? Yes and no. It depends on what it is. So like smoky quartz, you want to cleanse that fairly often because, and same with jade. And the reason why is because it collects energy. It's a detoxifier, so it takes the energy and holds it. So you want to make sure to cleanse that one fairly often. Other things like black tourmaline, selenite don't have to cleanse. So it depends on the stone. It really depends on that. Do you believe that energy tools, okay, how do you know if the person you think is your twin flame is? I will tell you, Cindy, you wouldn't even question it. A soulmate, you'll question. Twin flame, you won't question. This twin flame, by the way, gets thrown around way too much. So twin flame is a rare bird. And when I mean rare, I mean that you guys are going to have the same eye color, same hair color. You were raised the same way. You had the same set of circumstances. Your birth dates are going to be very similar. Like there's going to be the twin flame is the exact half of you. And you have to be at a stage 4 or above in your spiritual awakening, so does this other person, in order for a twin flame to even come to you. 9 times out of 10, your twin flame is on the other side serving as a spirit guide. So that's why I'm going, it's usually going to be a soulmate relationship, not a twin flame. So, okay. Tips on bettering manifestation and visualizations. Yes. Okay, so let me explain something. Basically put law of attraction, okay? Law of attraction works. The problem with it is that people forget about their daily routine. So meaning that, say for instance, you want an RV. What you're going to do in the morning is you're going to imagine yourself driving in this RV, what it smells like, what it looks like to set up, how you're going to play in it, where you're going to store it, all that stuff. But then you can't be a negative, whiny, pessimistic bitch the rest of the day and expect to manifest it. It doesn't work that way. What it does is that when you're envisioning it, you're putting all that energy into like an escrow account. The more happy and positive you are, the faster that escrow account is going to get full. Once that's full, manifestation happens. So don't get me wrong, we all have bad days. Hey, that's okay. It doesn't mean that the escrow account's going to go, down. It's not. It's going to stay at that same rate. So the biggest thing is the more happy you get, the higher your vibes, the more you are living your truth, the more you're going to be able to put in that escrow account, the faster you're going to be able to manifest. So that's why I tell people, you know, you got to learn how to meditate. So because meditation is learning how to control those thoughts throughout the day, especially when somebody pisses you off. So your job is to learn how to be non-reactive, forgive them damn near immediately because they're ignorant, stupid, and judgmental. So that is not easy to do. That's not easy to do as a human living in this reality. So, but ultimately, that's what we want to learn how to do, okay? Not easy to do. Anxiety after a dream visit. What am I supposed to do with the information received? First of all, look it up. Make sure it's not dealing with you or you personally, but usually dreams are going to point out some problems or issues that you have in your reality. So biggest thing I can tell you is fix your reality. Fix your reality so you are happy. So again, it sounds simple, but it's not. So, but try to be as happy as you possibly can throughout the day. So, and if you're not happy, fix it. So it's very fixable. People give me excuses all the time, or there's a fear-based response in that. And I'm like, no, it's very simple. If you're not happy, do something about it. So I've heard you say your energy breaks electronics. Can this be true about cars? Funny thing that you say that about cars. Went in my car this morning, went to go turn it over. Yeah, batteries work fine. Car won't turn over. So I'm going to try it tomorrow. I'm sure it'll work just fine. I got in there right after I got done meditating, and I think I blew some stuff up, but it happens. So, but yes, it'll happen with anything with electronics. That includes cell phones, anything, doesn't matter. So I can even plug stuff in after I get done meditating. So anymore I meditate at work, so at least if it breaks there, I can write it off. So, la, 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 la. Can your spirit insect be an insect you don't like? Sometimes, yes. I really don't like praying mantis. They're creepy, but that's what my spirit animal is. So I'm like, well, whatever. It's one of my insects. So like I said, not my cup of tea. I really don't like those, but whatever. So whenever I see a praying mantis, that's my sign to take a break. I'm working too hard, or I'm not taking care of me. So when I see those, that's my way of gotta chill. Which they creep me out. I don't like those. Why can't it be like a ladybug or like a butterfly? No, let's give her that one. So, la la la. When you go to heaven, they say that you can see your family, but you can also see your friends when you go up to heaven. Absolutely. You get to see everybody. Heaven is not some far off place, by the way. You got to think quantum energy or quantum. Usually they're about 3 feet away. So they're not that far away. You'd really like to think that they're far off. No, they're not. So everything you said at my reading in January is right on. Thank you, Kelly. Can I tell people what you are going to do? I can tell what people are going to do before they do it. That's my job as a psychic, but other people can do it too. So I think everybody has this ability. Everybody has psychic abilities, okay? Everybody does. I am no different than anybody else. I'm not. So the only difference is I've had more practice. That's it. So that's why I came up with the Enlightenment Academy. So what Enlightenment Academy is that I'm literally teaching the next generation of psychics, mediums, healers, because it's honestly, it's not that hard. People would like to think that what I do is very difficult, very tiring. And I'm like, no, actually it's not. If you do step by step, it's actually pretty easy to do. So, so that's why I came up with a program called Enlightenment Academy to be able to help people. So, okay. La, 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 la. Dogs too, will you see them in heaven? Yes, actually, that's a really good question. So if you loved it, I don't care if it's a snake, I don't care if it's a hamster, I don't care if it's a dog or a cat. If you loved it, you will see it again in heaven, because animals are here to teach us unconditional love. That's their job, okay? So that's what an animal's job is to teach you unconditional love. So if you loved it, you're gonna see it again, you will. I think things, and then a few seconds later they happen. What can I do to make this stronger? Ooh, that's good. That's Psychic Abilities 101. So first thing I want you to do is learn how to meditate. The more you meditate, the more it gives you a little bit more time in between, because you're like, ooh, I got this idea. And then your logic goes, yeah, right. So the more you meditate, the more you create a bit of a time gap. And so your intuition hits you and you're like, oh, I got it. And then your ego or your logic can go, well, did you just hear that? I think that was just your imagination. So the more you meditate, the more you're like, oh my gosh, I know it's my intuition. I know it's not my logic. I know it's not my, imagination, which, by the way, your imagination is your intuition. There is no difference. There isn't. So I feel like I get paid to use my imagination all day. That's what it feels like. So everybody would like to think it's like this magical thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is. Especially when I'm up on stage. It's a different vibe when I'm up on stage. But it's everybody can do this. That's why I'm like, it's not that magical. It's really not. So once you understand it, once you get to rolling with it, it's pretty easy. La 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 la. Do you have recommendations for various frequencies to use meditation and manifestations? Ooh, good one, Linda. I'd go with the heart chakra. So I think that's 428 hertz, if I remember right. So go with the heart chakra hertz. I think that's 428. The other one, and I'll be real with you guys, the one I like to listen to is from Dr. Wayne Dyer. It's D-Y-E-R, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's the meditation called I Am. So I really like that one. So if I need to listen to something, because sometimes I do, I like to personally listen to that one. That's a really good one. So, Brianna, why don't email me? Brianna, just email me, okay? It's kelly@psychickelly.com. We'll go from there. Emily says, Andrea had a great question. Do you need to say things out loud to spirit when you need guidance? You know what? No, you don't, because they understand you in thought, word, and deed. But I'll tell you what, I always say it out loud, so that way there's no miscommunication. So, but no, you don't have to. Absolutely not. You can say prayers in your head. You can say things in your head. You can write them down as intents. So, or you can verbally say them out loud. I just verbally say it out loud because it's a lot easier. Because I'm lazy and I don't want to write it down. Good ways to heal the sacral chakra. Okay, Wendy. So I'm gonna tell you that the sacral chakra always has to deal with daddy issues. So you got to work on the dad abandonment issue, which 9 times out of 10, your dad was, like I said, workaholic, or he died early, or wasn't there for you. So that's number 1, deal with that emotional pain. Number 2, anything orange, wearing orange, smelling orange, anything orange is great. Any certain frequency, which I forgot the frequency for your sacral chakra, but there's plenty of things on YouTube for your sacral chakra to listen to. And there's also things like aromatherapy that you can do for your sacral chakra. There's also tuning forks or singing bowls for your sacral chakra that can also help to open that up. Okay, so there's lots of different things we can do for that one. Things keep happening all the time. Cut my finger. Cassandra was asking, she feels like the universe is working against her. What's going on? And I'm going to tell you, sometimes that's just old karma coming back. So sometimes that just happens, especially if you're at a phase 3 of your awakening. That's pretty normal. So just understand, we're going to chalk that one up to old school karma coming back just a little bit. So no worries. But like I said, it's the biggest thing is when things do go wrong, 1, understand the lesson behind it. Are you learning patience? So, and number 2, learn how to be non-reactive. It's no different than today. I went in my car, went to go start it, didn't start. I'm like, meh, I'll fix it tonight. So I grabbed, and I asked Eric, I'm like, can I take your car, please? And he's like, huh? I'm like, just let me take your car. So I was able to take the car very easily and not even worry about it. I'm like, I'll fix it later. I'm not going to sit there and get all upset over something that I can't fix or control right now. So I'll worry about it later. So that's how I was able then to do my readings throughout the day. But if I would have let that little thing piss me off, I wouldn't have been able to do very good readings today. How do you stop telepathy? You don't. So at this point, it's very difficult to not have those abilities. Your job at this point now is to learn how to control those abilities instead of letting those abilities control you. And so what I'm going to tell you, we're going to work on meditation. So how do you break generational curses? By understanding the lessons behind them and not repeating those lessons or mistakes. So, like for instance, if your grandpa was an alcoholic and your dad's an alcoholic, well, don't pick an alcoholic to date, okay? So, like I said, understand the lessons behind those, and I don't like to call them curses because they're really not. They're learned behaviors. So they're learned and accepted behaviors. So that's, like I said, you're where the curse stops, right? Okay. Okay, sorry, my dog wants my attention. So, okay. Hi, yes, I'm so sorry. He's still a puppy. So his name is Templeton. He's half Yorkie, half Chihuahua. So he's a Torquie. Any thoughts on witchcraft? I like it. So it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different form or a method of what I'm doing. So everybody has their own little routine or way of connecting to spirit. So witchcraft or, Wiccan or conjuring, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just simply put a different form. So if you like it and it resonates with you, then it's your truth. Go with it. If somebody has a problem with it, piss on it. It's their problem. So, any thoughts? Okay, got that one. I can hear my mother who has passed on. Does that mean I should be able to hear others who have passed? Possibly, but right now, if you need to talk to your mom, and she's the one coming through, by George, perfect it. So if you perfect the communication with you and your mother, then that's going to have to open up abilities to be able to talk to other people too. So that is absolutely quite possible. What does it mean when your left foot keeps getting really hot? Brandy, 9 times out of 10, honestly, there's 2 reasons. Stop. He's biting. Honestly, there's 2 reasons. One, that means to tell me that you are not grounded, spiritually speaking. Or 2, you aren't wanting to move forward, or you're being really stubborn, or you're not wanting to move forward with your spiritual development or your art or your music or something right-brained. So almost always that's where it's going to be lying at. Can having too many crystals interfere with doing Reiki? No, not at all. So no, it's just energy. So, and as long as somebody that understands Reiki is just simply put moving or transferring energy. So no, I don't think you can have too many crystals. Nope, not at all. So because they're still giving off or emitting a vibration. So that vibration does nothing more than to attune your own vibration in your own body. So that's why we like to carry crystals. That's why we wear them. So because it attunes. So would you stop biting me? Boy. All right. Why does my nose itch all the time? Colt, 2 reasons. 1, allergies, or 2, right before I'm getting ready to tap on or get going and do my readings, my nose itches. So I don't know why. My nose will itch really bad and my ears will itch really bad. So it's really kind of funny because before I get up on stage, I'm like really itching my nose in the back and I'm itching my ears. And if anybody wants to see me, they're like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? So, but that really is like an energy thing. All right. What does the dog biting mean? It means that he's teething. So yeah, he's like literally got new teeth coming. Can we show him? No? Oh, yoy. All right. How do you develop your 6th and 7th senses? Like I said, meditate, 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 meditate. Oh, that's a good question. In the case of identical twins, is it one spirit that separates or 2 spirits that decide to go together? That's a good question. So, and it honestly depends, because I have seen twins come in and they share the same spirit guide, and other twins come in and they have 2 separate spirit guides. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be 2 separate souls. But they most likely were very close in a previous life. So they were like mother-daughter and they were like best friends, or they were best friends and they come in as twins in this life. But you're going to notice that twins are never the same. So you're going to have one twin who's don't tell me what to do, indigo, right? And the other twin is the empath. I love you. So you're going to have one of 2 when you have a twin, when you have twins come in. So But it's really strange. I don't have that one figured out, to be honest with you. I really don't, because like I said, one minute I'll see them sharing the same, spirit guide, and next minute they won't. Quit, seriously. Okay. I have a serious question. Learning to meditate, I can see my spirit guides and freak out. Am I ready for this? You know what, Danny, that's good. So I'll tell you what, I did the same damn thing. So my spirit guide started showing up and I was like, and I started breathing because I remembered I wasn't breathing. And you'll just have to get desensitized to it. And just what my spirit guides told me a long time ago is that they said, we've been here the whole time. We're not scaring you. You're coming into our world. We're not coming into yours. And we've been here the whole time. So quit freaking out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So, but like I said, it's completely normal. I did it too. So you'll get desensitized to it the more you do it. You really will. But like I said, when it first happens, it's a little weird. It is. It's weird. So, but it's just the same the first time that I was astral traveling through meditation. Weird. So, but that's all good. Like I said, it is a normal thing to do. It's just not, it's abnormal to talk about it because other people think you're nuts, but everybody thinks I'm crazy, so who cares? I'm about to write letters of forgiveness to myself at all different ages and burn or release with forgiveness. Is there such things as writing too much to burn? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you, Heather, that is an old conjuring trick, and it freaking works. All right. So the biggest thing you can do is forgive yourself for the mistakes that you didn't know at the time. You didn't know because you were too immature. You didn't know because you didn't know how things work. Nothing wrong with that. So writing them down and forgiving yourself and other people, I'm like, you will not believe how free you will feel when you do that. Truly, you will. I'm like, absolutely, yes, please do it. You're going to feel light. You're going to feel lighter. So you really will. It'll be awesome. So I'm like, hell yes, do it. Absolutely yes. Do spirit guides look like humans? Good question. Yeah, they do. But they do in my world, but they may not look like that in yours. So remember, that's my truth. So it's no different than me saying, I know what angels look like. Well, I do, but what I think of it as an angel might be different than what you think as an angel. So that doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong. No. It just means that that's your truth and I have my own truth. So do they show up to me as humans? Yes, because I've asked them to. But remember, they're not humans. They're souls. So yeah, if that makes any sense. Okay. Should energy workers work on one specific modality, or should they try to learn as many as possible? Never stop learning, ever. So however, if you are working on somebody, get your routine down. Once you have your routine and you know it works, don't screw with the routine. And the reason why is because your spirit guides and everybody else over here is helping you with your routine. So once you get your routine down and you know it works, stick with your routine. Don't screw with it because it's going to mess other people up over here and it's going to mess up that line of communication. So I smoke weed a lot. Well, good for you. I've noticed that since going through an awakening last year, my husband, my mom, and some of my children it's pretty amazing to watch. It is. It really is. It's amazing to see so many people go through spiritual awakenings, and I'm so excited. Like, I don't think you understand. That's why I'm here to teach other people how to be psychic mediums, because I'm telling you what, guys, I can't keep up. We need more people. I need help. I do. And so that's why, like I said, I did this Enlightenment Academy, and I'm so passionate about teaching. I love teaching because it's so cool to see everybody's little light bulbs pop on. It's so cool. So, in readings, do you see how many kids people will have or predictions on the future? Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. So it depends. But yeah, I sure do. And it depends on, I'll tell you, honestly, what I usually help more with is the infertility issues than how many kids they're going to have. Because at that stage, a lot of women are like, I don't care if I have 4 or 1. I just want to be pregnant. So I help them out with that aspect more than prediction of children. So because 9 times out of 10, they don't care. They just want a baby. So, I recently accepted my abilities as a medium, yay, and quickly came other capabilities. A lot of insights came flooding through. Any guidance? Slow. Ask them to slow it down, because when you open up that Pandora's box, everything floods. You're like, whoa! So I'm like, baby steps, tell them to slow it down a little bit, because you're getting overwhelmed, because you want to be able to take the pieces and chew them up a little bit and really figure out what this one means and what this sign means and what that sign means. So just tell them to slow it down a little bit. They will. Enlightenment Academy. So it's Enlightenment-Academy. The next class I'm having is in September. So it's mid-September. I don't have the payment plan up yet. That's going to be up within a few days here or so. So by this weekend, it should be up. Kundalini awakening is an awakening. So there really isn't any difference. So it's a way of opening up your chakra system. So, but if you're enlightened, you're awoken. So, I feel like my awakening has stopped. I'll tell you what, I had the same thing happen to me. So it didn't actually stop. So your awakening doesn't stop. It doesn't. But sometimes we get like held, or our crown chakra kind of gets a little shut down. And the reason why is because your reality will take precedence over your spirituality, meaning that your real world shit needs to get taken care of first before you can tap in. It's no different than if I would have let that car bother me this morning, I wouldn't have been able to do my readings effectively. No way. So because you got to be able to fix your shit. So if you need to get a divorce, get a divorce. You need to move. You need to get a different job, get a different job. So the biggest thing is that if you're feeling like you're not being able to tap in, that means to tell me that you're dragging your feet about a change that you need to do in your real life. Okay, so you never get tapped out, ever, never, ever. So, but what you do is you kind of get held down a little bit because you're not paying attention to your reality. So, make sense? My lights are blinking. How do you know when an awakening is done, a reawakening is done? I don't know. You tell me. I've been going through this awakening process for 12 years. So, I asked my guys the other day, for instance, I'm like, when am I going to stop learning lessons? Like, when can I be done getting tested? When can I stop learning lessons? And they laughed at me and they said, when you die. I'm like, great. So I don't think the awakening process will ever stop. I think I'm at a stage 5, meaning that I know why I'm here. I know what I'm here to do. I know what my life purpose is. I treat everybody like they're my brother or my sister, no matter how bad they may hate me. Okay. So like I said, does that mean that my awakening is complete? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I don't think it ever stops, to be honest. I think you just continually grow. I'm told to stage 2 clear energy, but now I'm being told that if I want to do spiritual work, smudging clears everything out. You should sage anyway. I sage my house at least twice a month. I have 3 teenagers. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to sage. So, but it doesn't do anything but clear out old residual energy, which is what you want to do anyway. And it provides a bit of a buffer. So that way, somebody that died on the Oregon Trail isn't going to come visit me in my house. No thanks, don't need that. So puts up a bit of a barrier. So I sage quite a bit though. I really do. My 5-year-old worries about the future. She's very artistic and sensitive. What can I do to help her ease her anxieties? I'm going to tell you, yes, I understand where that's coming from, but you're going to have her face her fears. Meaning that if she's like, oh my God, what happens if this happens? Play that out all the way. Well, what if it happens? What are you going to do? I'm like, no, really, what are you going to do? Don't avoid the topic. Go right into it. Number 2, Meredith, I'm going to tell you, make sure that you are not teaching her how to worry. So she's learning it from somewhere. 9 times out of 10, we learn anxiety from our mothers. So make sure that you're not teaching her how to worry. So, but the biggest thing is play that out all the way. So, well, like for Steve, what happens if you die? I'm like, what happens if I do? Oh, I'm like, no, really, what are you going to do? Where am I going to be buried? Oh, I'm like, yeah, you'd have to do a funeral service. So where would I be buried? Where would you go? You'd go live with your dad. What else would happen? So you play out the whole thing, so that way the worry then gets put aside, meaning that there is a solution to a problem. So worry is just worrying about something without a solution. So give her the solution, or let her think about the solution. Okay. Do you feel that there are different types of empaths? Maybe not different types, but there's a scale, kind of like a scale to narcissism. You know, you got some guys that aren't so narcissistic and some guys are like totally narcissistic. And then you have people that are kind of empathic, sociopaths who have absolutely no empathy. And then you got the mama hen empath that cries at everything. So there's a scale to an empathy, absolutely. Just like there's a scale to narcissism, like from 0 to 10. So empathy, I'm about a 6. So yes, am I here to help people? Absolutely, but I'm not going to do it at my own expense because I've got kids to raise. I got to take care of them too. So I can't sit there and help everybody in the world and not have any energy left for my children. So that's when my balance. Do you think cell phone towers are dangerous to us? Yep, I do. And the best way to, if you do happen to live near a cell phone tower or big electrical lines, get some orgonite or organite, I guess is what it's called. And they have, I'll even show you one. I'll show you what I mean, guys, because this is great because people don't know about orgonite very much. I got one in my room. I'll show you. Okay, check this out. So I keep this by my bed, and so I keep this in between my bed and my cell phone. So what this is, and you can kind of see it here a little bit, this is lapis, is what it is, and it's actually resin, and you can see the copper. So I don't know, you can kind of see the glare here, but you see that copper right there and the copper up top in the pyramid. So what this does is it disrupts the EMF or the electro frequency, magnetic frequency that those cell phone towers or that power lines will give off. So like I said, these things help. Now what I do, because I'm a little weirdo, so I have this one right next to me in my bed. So it's literally on my end table right here, and my cell phone I keep right here in between because I don't want this stuff getting me. I also have 4 more of these made of black tourmaline in my basement. So, and I have them in each one of my corners in the basement. So that also helps with when they're spraying the shit that they're spraying up in the sky. Yeah, the chemtrails, this helps with the chemtrails as well. So I have each one of these in 4 of them with black tourmaline, rids negativity. So I have 4 of those in my basement, and this one personally for me, right next to my bed. These are not cheap, I'm not gonna lie. So these are a little real pricey, but they freaking work. They really, really do. All right. So, and again, I'm going to tell you that we sell those at Awakenings, and you can do them as little pendants. You can do them as pyramids. Personally, I like the pyramids. Pyramids, sacred symbols. So I like pyramids. So, like I said, you can go to awakeningsstore.com. So, but if you're just going to get one, I would tell you, get the black tourmaline. So that's the best one. Okay. With accepting my abilities, I've also accepted my serial son's abilities. So Caroline, yeah, your 6-year-old son, most kids, especially under the age of 10, have abilities right now. They're not going to tap out. So they just won't. You can tell them that they're not seeing it, and they're like, no, I see it. I know what I'm doing. So again, children's job at this point is to teach the adults about spirituality and how to live a spiritual life. The adult's job is to teach the child about reality. So that's I'm like, you never really have to worry about them, but give them somebody to talk to. So I was very lucky that my dad, I could tell my dad anything. So he was deaf, he had hearing aids. So half the shit that I told him, he was like, that's nice, he couldn't hear me anyway. But early on, he said, you know, if you have anything weird like that, just come talk to me. So I did. So after my dad died, I didn't really talk to anybody about this because it just wasn't something that I felt comfortable talking to about with anybody. So that's why I always tell a parent, just be there for your child and listen to them. And if you don't know an answer, find out, but don't let your own fear take away something that that child has. So hopefully that makes sense. Anything? Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Tips for anxiety, crystals. Ooh, good one. Okay. Anxiety, by the way, guys, anxiety is completely freaking normal when you go through a spiritual awakening. Normal. So what's happening is that veil came off your head, that veil of illusion, and you're like, ooh, and you thought you had control over shit, and you're realizing you don't. So that's why my anxiety, normal. Best thing for anxiety, believe it or not, amethyst. Amethyst. So the other one, the Shara White's a really good one. Camerite is another good one. And I would tell you, if you can wear those in earrings or a necklace, it's best. So you want to try to get the crystal that you need by the body part you need, by the chakra. So if you need something to ground, you want to put it in your pockets. If you want something more for your throat, you want to wear earrings or a necklace. So not necessarily, it still transfers. It's not that big of a deal, but I would tell you those are going to be the best ones. So, bracelets are good. Yes, good. I forgot about bracelets. I always do. So, by the way, if somebody's saying something about World War III, we won't have it. I'm not worried about it. So, it's just not going to happen. That's a fear-based thing that people are putting out there. Don't bite into it. It's bullshit. It isn't going to happen anyway. Somebody's asking if animals can reincarnate as people or vice versa. No, they can't. So because humans have the ability to have free will and consciousness, animals not so much. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we can talk to our cats and our dogs and they understand us. However, that we won't be able to come back as like a cow, and a cow can't come back as a human. It doesn't work that way. So in my world, I've never come across that, but not that I know of. So a human will reincarnate as a human in that karmic cycle until karmic's paid in full. Which, by the way, when you go through an awakening, your karmic debt's paid. Because that's the point. You want to go through an awakening here. Okay. Wow. Best way to use shungite. Ooh, good one. So shungite is another really good EMF blocker. So I usually have a piece of shungite between myself and my computer, especially when I'm doing readings, because the energy that I emit screws up my screens and screws up my electronics. So I usually put it between myself and my electronics. Same with my phone. So if I have my headphones on, I'm gonna have a piece of shungite on my phone so I don't blow it the hell up. So usually that's a really good idea. Okay. No, I have not heard of that. Best way to deal with grief. Ooh, Emily, that's a good one. And I'll tell you what, time. That's all I can tell you. Time and faith. So that's the one emotion that I can't help with. Yes, I can talk to loved ones that have crossed over. Yes, I can give you that comfort, but grief is an emotion all itself that you have to go through. But what a better test of faith than with grief. That's why you have to have both sides. That's why we come here to experience stuff like that. Black onyx is really good for grieving. Good one, Danny. So crystals, things like that will help you, but ultimately time. It just takes time, and that's one emotion that's tough. It really is. Want to learn how to meditate but have anxiety? Is it hard to learn to settle your mind and meditate with anxiety? You know what it is. It really is. So I'm going to tell you what, Christine, most than likely you're trying to sit there and be like, okay, I can do this. You know what? Sometimes you can't. So I would tell you start doing something a little bit different. So maybe listen to a guided meditation instead. So just to distract your mind, because sometimes it takes a little bit. All right. So sometimes that distraction with the guided meditation helps. It really does. The second thing that I'm going to tell you is don't worry too much about trying to do it perfectly. Don't. So don't try to give yourself a grade when you meditate. It's just don't. Some days I can meditate awesome. Other days I'm like squirrel. So I'm like, so you go with the flow. You just go with the flow. Do you have any classes specifically recommended that can help me balance and evolve my abilities? Yes, Caroline, I have something called Enlightenment Academy. So, and I was just talking about that earlier. So it's enlightenment-academy.com. I don't have, I still have the price in the description and all that's coming. I'll have it up by this weekend. So, can you guide me through the performance of an exorcism? I will tell you what, I don't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. So I refer that away. So honestly, Calvin, I don't know how to do that. I'll be honest with you. I talk to happy dead people, not assholes. So that's I'm like, I don't talk to people that are jerks on the other side. Unless I have to, that's a rare bird. So that's I'm like, I would rather not, because demonic entity or negative entity, things like that, make me exhausted. So I'd rather just not. But no, I can't help you with that. Sorry, I don't know how to do that. So is there meaning in being drawn to a certain color? Yes. So the color that you are drawn to is correlated to the chakra that is the weakest on you. So if you're drawn to blue, most than likely you have issues with your throat. So, or you have headache issues, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, probably your throat. Am I precognitive? Yes, I am. Do you have an altar for your crystals or stuff? I do, actually. Yeah, I do. And that's private for me. And a lot of people are like, why don't you just show your altar? I'm like, because it's private. And that's a sacred spot for myself. So yes, I do. I have and I'll tell you, I have a big piece of selenite. It's like a big old square, and I actually have 2 of them because I have a lot of crystals. So that's where I put all of my crystals at the end of the day, is on my big piece of selenite. So, and then I have some candles and other stuff like that. So, but yes, I do. Any other questions? La 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 la. But yeah, I don't buy into the fear-based stuff. That's why I'm like, I just don't. I'm sorry. So if the end is coming, guess what? The end is coming. And do you think there's anything you or I or anybody else can do about it? No, because it said in the good book a long time ago that if the end is near, it doesn't matter how psychic you are, you're going home. Your job at this point is to be intuitive, or be as enlightened as you possibly can be, and be in service to others, and treat everyone as if they are your brother or your sister while you're here. If you are more than 50% of service to others, you have nothing to worry about, war or anything else. All righty, guys. I want to thank everybody so much for attending. Like I said, I like to do these free Q&As at least once a month. So if you have more questions throughout the month and you're like, oh yeah, I want to ask that, write it down, okay? Write that stuff down, so that way the next go around, we can definitely talk about it. So like I said, guys, thank you so much for taking the time and spending an hour with me here this evening. But like I said, I do this monthly. If you have any questions about anything, check out my website, psychickelly.com. Like I said, this weekend I'll have Enlightenment Academy up and rolling, so you guys can check that out. That is a weekend-long class, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's not just a one-day class. I also offer 1 hour to 2 hour classes as well. So that's on my Psychic Medium site. So it's also psychickelly.com. So if you check that out, that'll be there as well. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want everybody to take care and have a wonderful weekend. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye now.